Got it.
And so I watched Under the Red Hood for the first time this summer. And I watched it like 5 days in a row because it was amazing. And,
I'm sorry. So you saw Under the for the first time. That's continue.
I just think it's amazing. I was just wondering, like, what are y'all's favorite comic books, and like, did you read any comic books to like prepare for that, or yeah?
My favorite graphic novel. 8 years ago, when there were only 4 of them, was called The Walking Dead. There were 4 of them, and I got them all. Super fan.
I was not in to comics when I was younger. I saved that for my adulthood. Because now I'm living in a comic, and it's awesome. I did go back and watch some of the previously made movies that they had done in that series, so it kind of got me into that headspace. And then, yeah, that was a really fun project. I was glad that they allowed me to be a part of it. So, thanks.
Jason Todd is the best Robin.
Jason Todd is the best Robin. Hey, I'm ready. Put me in, coach. Hi.
Hi. First, you guys drink way too much coffee, and that poor girl struggles to carry it all by herself. We actually helped her today. Anyway.
That's what happens when you wake up on Vancouver time.
Anyway, needless to say, you guys have had a lot of death scenes. Which is your favorite, and which one was the most difficult to do?
That sense. Favorite, most difficult.
I will say I've got several. I've got several. Yeah, several death scenes that come to mind. There's not many characters that can say that. I will say that the scene when Dean goes to hell with the hellhounds ripping his chest open, and then the aftermath of that in hanging in hell, which hooks and stuff. Okay, all right, you win too. That kind of has always been my go-to. However, I recently had one last year that is certainly near the top of the list, and that was when Dean decided to put himself in the veil because he thought his brother was dead. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen season 11. And in order to do so, I had to take a bunch of pills. Do you remember the scene? No? I'm kidding. So
what's great is that there actually were 2 different meanings of the yeses. Do you remember the scene? Yes! Collectively. No? Yes! The whole crowd just gave you we said yeah, dude.
So I actually had to eat all of those pills. What were they, you might ask? Prilosec OTC.
Our latest sponsor.
No, they were, what do they call them? The sugar pill. Placebos, yes. They were, the white ones were placebos, and then there were the big kind of gel capsule ones that were just empty gel capsules. But that didn't matter because I literally was taking handfuls of them and then downing them with a Pedialyte.
And then they call action, and you have to do it.
And I had to do it several times, and it was Nina, so, you know, she was like, can you do it one more time? And I'm like, for you? Yes. And I kept having to do it, and it was like, I wanted to throw up so bad. And then they're like, okay, now you're dead, and you're on the ground, and you need to be foaming at the mouth. Well, that sounds wonderful. How are we gonna achieve that? Well, we have these Alka-Seltzer tablets that we're just gonna stick in your cheek, and then give you a little bit of water, and then you just foam up in your mouth. Try that.
No.
Try it! I need you to know what I'm going through here. It sucked. Let's put it that way. It was not a fun time.
This basically reminds me of one time we, I found out later somebody put soy sauce in my coffee. It tastes awful. And I was like, I tried it and I was like, oh God, this is awful, try this. And he was like, no.
You do that all the time though. You do that all the time. You like, you know, order a drink or like a dinner or something, and we'll be out. He'll try something like, oh, this is, hey, try this.
So Alka-Seltzer water, guys. Alka-Seltzer water. You know, that's funny. My favorite death scene is Red Meat as well. Sam's death scene from Red Meat, getting shot. I dreaded it, and then we shot it with Nina, who's back, just directed again. Yeah, I think that was my favorite. My least favorite, God. My least favorite was probably season 2 with all the kids who also were yellow-eyed demon kids, and then I got stabbed by Aldous, and then I had to like play dead, lay on that bed that Dean is like talking to Sam, and Sam is dead, and it feels like, honest to God, I'd rather shoot a scene of me scaling Mount Everest than a scene of me holding my breath, because all you can do is think about like trying not to move.
I might be making this up, but I have a vague memory of that scene where you're dead on the bed, and I've got this like really heavy monologue, and I'm like, you know, tears and getting emotional, and Jared's just doing everything that he can to look, to be still and not look. And this was early on when we were still, I guess we still are, rather immature. But do I remember a take where I was like right in the middle and I just hear a, oh. Because this was your face, I believe.
Guys, take it easy. The answer is, of course. It's, like I said, I was trying to hold my breath. When you hold your breath and you swallow a lot of oxygen,
sometimes it's gotta go out.
Yeah, it's got to pull out. Scenes where I'll look over at angles.
Yeah, no audible, no nothing. I'll just look over at him and he'll be doing this. It's less than that. It's far less than that because you are actually trying. It is just this. And not smelling anything yet. Kind of sitting there like, really? Code 7, everybody. Clear the set.
I like protein. Thank you. I hope that answers your question.
And then some.
Her face is like this.
So sorry to ask.
She's like, are they still talking to me?
Hi,
How y'all doing today?
How y'all doing?
I'm doing good. I drove up from Austin, so
Yes.
So actually, I'm going to do a shower, but my friend let me come up and ask this question because she didn't have a question. I did. So Sarah, thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Okay, so I was.
This is where you say you're welcome.
So my name's Kirby, and I saw you guys in Houston back in February. But so this question's been kind of in the back of my mind. So when Dean went through hell, it was obviously not run by Crowley at the time. And Sam has never really experienced a nicer form of hell. But I've wondered how Dean and Sam, or Jared and Jensen would do dealing with Crowley's hell, where it's just a very long line. Feeling that patience is not one of your virtues. And I just want to know, preference-wise, how long it would take before you just broke.
I would rather be running and fighting for my life than waiting in line. I mean it. And that's the worst part. We have days on set sometimes where we will shoot Red Meat, the first day of Red Meat, where Sam gets shot. There's a fight scene. He's fighting a werewolf. I'm fighting one. There's stunt guys, and there's gunshots, and there's blood. And then, after that 6 hours, then you go to the scene immediately afterwards where you're bandaging yourself, and you're untying the hostages, and you're grabbing a gun, and you're picking people up, and you film for 14 to 16 hours, which means, it's an hour to get there. It's an hour through hair, makeup, wardrobe. Then you start filming. You have like an hour for lunch. So if you're filming for 16 hours, you're gone. You're door to door like 19 hours. And those days are difficult, but freaking awesome. The days where it's like, okay, you're gonna wait in your trailer for the next hour while we set up this and do that. Like, I feel like I'm pacing up and down my trailer, like, put me to work. Like a racehorse or something waiting in the stables. It's like,
I'm such a thoroughbred.
You said it to everybody. I'd rather have fighting Leviathans and Purgatories than waiting in line for anything having to do with Mark Shepard.
That being said, I know that there are many of you out there that share that sentiment of not liking to wait in line. And we know that sometimes days like this can get a little tedious with waiting in line, which is why we try to move so fast. So thank you for your patience with days like this. Thank you. And you guys are Thank you. Hi.
Okay, so I go to UT and my sister goes to A&M, so I'm on board and she's happy. I was wondering.
Is your sister here?
Yeah, she's.
Get out. Get out.
Yeah, I don't know. There's probably a lot of Aggies in this.
Just
I was wondering. Okay, well now I don't have to wonder because you guys are clearly Longhorns.
I was wondering if you guys. I feel like I have a lot of friends who went to A&M. You know what? A few who went to OU.
Eddie, let me ask you this. Do you know where the name Sooner comes from? I didn't ask you.
I don't.
They're criminals.
Am I wrong?
They're criminals.
But I believe that before the land was about to be opened up for claims, that people snuck onto the land and waited just before they opened it, and then stuck their claim, and they were known as the Oklahoma Sooners. So they were breaking the law. So you're all a bunch of criminals. That's what it really boils down to. It's like, oh yeah, I go to the University of Texas Convicts.
That explains a lot.
It does explain a lot, man.
Have you checked, made sure your passport's still in your pocket? There have been a few Sooners in line. I'm a UT fan. I was enrolled at UT when I got Gilmore Girls, so I had to leave. Shameless plug. Yeah, many years ago when I was on Gilmore Girls.
Was it before or after New York Minute? I forget. I always get those two mixed up.
Before and after. And to take the words out of Jensen's mouth, yes, I was the original Dean.
But were you a salmon dean?